Okay, so we're going to show off the workshops. We don't need to really show both. We only really need to show one, since obviously armor crafts armor, weapons craft weapons. Pretty obvious, self-explanatory even. So, at the neutral towns way to the south, just close that. These only make +0 to +3. At the far south, the first zone that you can get clay in, obviously, that one has another option for +0 to +3, and then we have one more a little higher than the dead center of the map, which also does +0 to +3. So, any workshop in a town is able to go to +4 immediately, and depending on the size of the workshop can be upgraded from there. Small can only stay at +4, medium can be upgraded twice for +6, and large can be upgraded 4 times for +8. They always follow the same rule set when it comes to balance. So obviously if you take all these down, you can see the values of each one. Cooldown speed costing the most, then run speed, then health, and then everything else. Energy generally has a very low use, so it's best to ignore that. Determination only really shines if you're running an Aether form build, and even then, Determination rounds up by the nearest hundredth, so, well, not hundredth, but 100, so say if you have 151 Determination, for example. Well, sorry, not 151, say 101 Determination. If you put 50 on this weapon and equip it, you will then go up to the next one. But on a situation of a +8 armor, it would be 208, so you'd be able to put 50 on here, and that rounds it up as if it was 300. Generally, you'll ignore Determination. Health doesn't really benefit you enough for you to want to use it. Even if you do build maximum health, it's not a benefit. You're better off focusing on fixing the resistance spread that you have. So for example, bow needs 50 more physical resistance than it does magic, so mental. So you always want to have 50 more physical. Same thing happens with staff. Totem is 100 more mental than it is physical, so you want to make sure physical is 100 more than mental, and then War Scythe you can't mitigate because it's 150 negative to both resistances, so you kind of want to just try and even that out. And then Spear and Shield is 150 in the opposite direction, so it's 300 more than War Scythe, which is pretty significant, but War Scythe has a huge DPS advantage. That being said, let me adjust these stats accordingly how I would say you probably would set them up on a normal build. Just going to try and make sure I do this properly. Try and, yeah, see, we have too many points there. See if we can do 40 and 40. As you can see, we cannot, so you kind of try and get this whole little setup going. You don't really need ability speed on Spear and Shield or War Scythe. It's pretty much run speed and cooldown speed. If you're going a Determination build, you would go something a little different. You want to kind of pull your points down as much as you can. Try and get +4 speed on like a robe, so that way you can get this Determination high enough so 50 is where you want it. So that would be sort of a Determination robe Scythe build, and you do the same thing on a Spear and Shield. But you kind of just want to figure out what your stat layout will be and make sure this balance number is a green 0. Sometimes it glitches out and won't let you craft it, but that's because, as you saw, when I adjust these, sometimes it doesn't move the number at all, even though technically it should, which they probably have to fix, but they haven't yet. And obviously the cost from +0, which is 50-20, then 140, 150, 60, 250, 80, 350, 100, 450, 120, 550, 140, 600, 160, and 800, 200. Follows suit all throughout every weapon and every armor. But that's workshops.